Ladies and gentlemen, it's your man, it's your boy Venruki here, and I figured on the eve before the season starts, I would make a video that I think will be hopefully useful for everybody. This is going to be a one-stop shop gearing guide for the season. And what do I mean by gearing guide? It's not a mage gearing guide. It's just a gearing guide in general. We're going to go over honor gear. We're going to go over world PvP gear, conquest gear, the freebies that you're going to be getting at the beginning of the season. How do you get your embellishments? The cloak, the new legendary cloak. Is this something that we want? What do we do with it? How do we get tier? What are we doing for enchants? What do we do for gems? So if nothing else, it will be a refresher for everybody. And if you have no idea what's going on in World of Warcraft PvP, this will hopefully be very useful for you. So the first thing you're going to want to do when you log in is get your honor gear. So if you don't have any honor gear, you need to farm some honor. Now, basically, whenever I log in at the start of every week, I go over here to Rufius and I grab all the quests available. So there's going to be this quest here. It'll be a little bit different, but you can get bloody tokens with it. You'll be able to get a spark. You want to grab all these quests for extra honor and conquest, especially if you need them, and you should be good to go with that. So this quest right here is the most important, the Sparks quest, okay? So you want to grab that one. Now, when you log in, if you have your honor, there's basically 3 tiers of PvP gear that you're going to be looking for. The first tier is going to be the honor gear. So this is what you're just going to go pick up right away. You can spend your honor on this. It's going to be kind of your base item level. I'm still in the last season, so if you're watching this, it's Monday night where I live. So I'm making this in the evening just to be convenient for you guys. So this is going to be the honor gear. Velard sells it. It'll have the next season's gear, more than likely. Now, I'm not exactly sure if the vendors will be somewhere else, but the message is still the same. Like maybe in the new city taser vest. I kind of doubt that they're going to do that. I think everything will still be here in this PvP zone, which is located right here. Okay, so that's going to be the first one, your honor gear. And that you just get honor by doing activities. Any kind of PvP activities are going to be granting you honor, whether that's just normal battlegrounds, whether it's rated battlegrounds, just anything you do in PvP will give you honor. Now, the second tier of gear is going to be the world PvP or the bloody token gear. This gear, I think, is actually important. You don't have to farm it if you don't want, but on the characters you care about, I highly recommend you do, because it's basically only a little bit worse than conquest gear, which is the best gear. So every single week, you'll have a certain amount of bloody tokens that you can farm. Now, the way you get this is with that quest I just showed you over here from Rufius. He's going to have one a week that gives you basically 1,000 of them. Really convenient to do. You can do that as soon as you log in on Tuesday. Or if you don't want to do that, you can just run around and do any quests with war mode on. So having war mode on is going to allow you to farm that. So that is going to be the honor gear, and that is going to be the world PvP gear. So you got your weekly quest, you want to have war mode on, and you can earn a certain amount. And you want to do that because it is quite strong. Like for example, on mage, there's actually no conquest boots. So before you actually end up crafting boots later on, you can pick up these haste versatility. Well, there is conquest boots, but they don't have the right secondary stats. So take a look, figure out what secondary stats you want, and then take a look at this gear and see what you can pick up. Normally, it's quite easy to just grab like a cloak. Maybe you can get like your bracers. I don't recommend a weapon. You can if you really want to. Save for 2 weeks and try to rush a weapon, but it's not going to give you that much of an edge. I would just pick up the pieces of gear that have the secondary stats that you want and try to take advantage of that. You can also use this gear to convert to tier if you want to rush tier and save conquest. Now, the only downside to that is that your tier will be slightly lower item level, but by the time that matters in the late season, you can just get another piece of tier. You'll have enough conquest and stuff. Conquest will be unlocked and all that good stuff. Now that we've done that, you're going to be slowly acquiring conquest. This is another thing to keep in mind. This is the strongest gear in the game from this vendor, the conquest gear. So we've gone from honor to the world PvP gear to the conquest gear. And on the first day of the season, as you guys may or may not know, there is a lot you can get. You're going to get a ton of upgrades with your honor gear, your world quest gear, as well as your conquest gear as you start doing rated activities. Okay. Now, I'm not going to tell you exactly what you should buy. You're going to have to look into that yourself. The only thing I will tell you is you're not going to buy a weapon. I don't even think you will be able to buy a weapon. And that is because after, you know, week 1 goes by, week 2 goes by, week 3 goes by, I believe it is in week 4, we get a free conquest weapon. So for the season, once you have unlocked 2,500 conquest earned, you get a free weapon. You'll get I think it's a quest, or it's just something that shows up in your inventory. And you can track that quite easily by just looking at your conquest. So you go to currency, conquest, and it'll show you total earned for the season. And you can see right there, it's 2797. So I've earned a lot this season. Yeah, you can see right here, your honor, conquest, bloody tokens. You'll be able to see your bloody tokens conquest and all that good stuff. But yeah, you'll see how much you've earned for the season if you hover over your conquest. And when you do 2,500, which will be, I think, in week 4, you get a free weapon. So that's why I don't recommend spending your gear or your points, sorry, on the bloody token weapon or the conquest weapon here, because it's just going to be free. And if you do buy a weapon, you're just going to be greatly behind other people. Now, the other freebie you're going to get just from playing PvP is you will get a quest at the beginning of the season for 9 free heraldries. Now, these heraldries are used for crafting. Typically, it's been meta. This is what they look like. So you're going to get 9 of these, okay? And it allows you to craft gear at the highest possible item level. I will show you crafting. I'll show you an example of crafting. If you guys play the game a lot, you know this is basically what the crafting gear looks like. You can make whatever you want, but it has been meta to make rings, basically all your jewelry. And the reason for that is the conquest gear has a lot of versatility on it. And to kind of offset how much versatility you're getting, people like to craft rings, because instead of it being a ring that has really high versa and kind of mediocre haste, it's an even split. So you end up getting a lot more of that secondary stat you want. So for mages or warlocks, you'll want haste. If you're a demon hunter, you probably want mastery. Look up the stats you want. This video is not going to tell you all the stats you want, but it will tell you what to do. So once you have your heraldries, you need to come over to Clerk Gretel. If you have not done crafting before, this is where you're going to do it. And this is also where we're going to talk about embellishments. So if you notice on my ring, actually they're on my, where are they? On my belt, I made it. So I have this extra effect on my belt. These are called embellishments. You get 2 of them that you can use. Now for DPS, you normally want to get the elemental focus iris, which just gives you a little bit of extra proc damage. If you're a healer, you normally get the energy redistribution beacon. I think 99 times out of 100, those are the 2 that you're going to want to get. Healer, energy redistribution. And if you are a DPS, the elemental focusing lens, okay? So that is the embellishment you want. Remember, you only get 2. So, if you want to craft a piece of gear, this is going to be a crash course. You're basically going to go up to this person. Let's say you want to buy a ring or craft a ring. You're going to go armor, miscellaneous, finger, okay? You're going to look at this. This is the Algari competitor signet. So it's going to be the Algari gear pretty much always that you're going to want to craft. So if you want a cloak, it's the competitor's cloth cloak. If you want a finger, it's the competitor's signet. And then, yeah, if you want a neck, do a neck. So you're going to be looking to more than likely craft your necks and your rings. Now, once you click on what you want, you can track the recipe and see exactly what you need, okay? So, once... I kind of skipped ahead. Yeah, the 9 free heraldries you're going to get early on in the season. I think it's a guarantee to get them if you do 1 battleground. And you have a high chance of getting them if you win arenas or solo shuffles. But if you want to just get them right away, queue a battleground and win, and you get it. So that's a good opportunity. You can also just do 2s, you can do 3s, whatever you want. If you're not in a big rush, it's fine. You'll get it eventually from winning. And then you go turn it in back where we were. Okay, so now that you have your heraldries, you're gonna go shopping. You found out what you want to make. Okay, you want to make the ring. You can go over to the auction house, which is over that way, over yonder, that way, over here. Woo, woo, woo. Okay, you can go to the auction house. If you don't know where it is, talk to a guard. I'm gonna cheat because I spent money on this, so I'm just gonna go ahead and pull out my Brutosaur really quick. Pull out the Brutosaur. And this is where you basically are going to go shopping. Okay, what do I need? I need my marbled stone. Okay, I'm going to buy that, blah, blah, blah. Okay, what else do I need? I need a null stone. Okay, great. We're going to get my null stone, picked it up. What else do we need? Okay, the vicious bloodstone. Okay, I don't have one just yet, but okay, let's buy a vicious bloodstone. Cool. And then I already have the heraldries. You can see, checked. It's all good. And then I'm going to want my elemental focus So this is where you're going to get your elemental focus. Cha-ching, you get it. You bought it. The other thing you have to worry about is your missive, and that basically allows you to choose your secondary stats. So get your missive. Perfect. Great. I want versatility and haste. Boom. Got it. Boop, bada bing, bada boom. Now I'm going to run over here. I'm going to grab everything, all my shopping ingredients. Boom. Open all. It's all in my bag. I come back here. Okay, here we go. We're going to make the ring. Miscellaneous finger. Click on it. Put in your heraldries like this. Boom, you got it. Just make sure you put in the right heraldries, okay? And you can always preview your ring in the top corner. So I'll put these poopy ones in, and then I'll put in like the, this is where you put in your, you can't see it because my stupid webcam here. This is where you're going to put in your missives, and this is where you're going to put in your embellishment. You get 2 of them, remember that. So typically people put them on their jewelry at the beginning of the season. Great. All right, wonderful. You crafted your free rings and necklaces. Now, there may be some situations where you don't want to craft the rings out of necklaces. 9 times out of 10, it's totally fine to just make rings and necklaces and you're good to go. Some people prefer to buy other stuff at the beginning of the season. Like I mentioned, sometimes maybe there's not a belt that has the right secondary stance, so you'd rather craft it and then just get the versatility heavy ring with haste on it or whatever, you know? So you do have choices, but if you want to make it easy, you can just make the jewelry. Great. So now we've covered honor gear, world PvP gear, conquest gear, your free conquest weapon, your heraldries, your embellishments. Now, the cloak. Oh, goodness gracious, the cloak. The Rishi wraps. Now, I made a video earlier, and I wasn't sure if this is actually going to be the best, but I have a funny feeling it will be. So the lucky thing about this is it's incredibly easy to get. When you zone into the game, you're going to have a purple quest. It's not this one, but you'll have a purple quest, and that purple quest is basically going to tell you to go over here. Wonderful. If you've never done it, you just talk to someone that's here, and he's going to open up the portal. You're going to go into Koresh, and you're basically going to have to play through... you're going to have to play through... Where is it? The story a little bit. But the good thing is you only have to do it on one character, okay? It's incredibly easy to do. So you're basically just going to do that. You're going to get your cloak. The cool thing about a cloak is it has different effects on it, and you're going to be able to level up your cloaks. It's going to be higher item level. I think it will end up being BIS. I'm not 100%, so if it ends up not being BIS and you feel like you're wasting your time, don't get mad at me. I am going to level up my cloak. It is incredibly easy. Once you do it on your main character, you can actually just repeat the quest, okay? So you'll just repeat the quest. You'll go in here. You literally talk to one person, 2 people, and then you just get the cloak pretty much. So you'll go in here. I don't know. This looks right. Yeah, there'll be some person here. You'll talk to them, and then you'll get a dialogue box. And with that dialogue box, you can say, I've already heard this story. I want to skip. This is if you have an alt, okay? So on your alts, that's all you do. And then once you've done that, it's going to give you a quest to go over here. And then you can just, this is where you customize your cloak. I'm actually just going to fly over there. So guys, how's it going? You know, this is a perfect opportunity. Leave a comment on the video if you like these kind of videos. And yeah, and I just, honestly, I hope you guys have a great beginning of your season. So yeah, let me know what class you guys intend on playing. What are you looking forward to? Are you guys going to be playing more 3s this season? I think I'm going to be playing a little bit more 3s. So that's nice as we continue our journey down here. I just want to show you guys exactly what I'm talking about and how easy it is to really customize this cloak. All right, let's keep going. Just a friendly reminder, ladies and gentlemen, to like the video if you guys like these kind of videos and if you found it helpful whatsoever. Okay, now we're about to land. Everybody, please fasten your seatbelts. And boom, you're gonna come over here. You talk to this guy, and this is actually really important. So this person right here, where it says the ethereal strands owned, this is basically your weekly progress. So when this is maxed out, it means you've got all the strands you can for the week. Now, he's going to have a dialogue option for you to just say, I want a cloak, or I missed my cloak, or I misplaced it. Boom, you got it. Now you want to empower it. This is where you put in your strands, and this is like those bonus effects you're going to be able to unlock week after week. So after the first week, you should have 2. After the second week, I'm going to believe you get 3, so on and so on. And then you can buy fibers. Now, there's 4 different fibers for the 4 secondary stats. If you notice the cloak that I have, it has only versatility on it. So I decided to go for versatility. And I have actually something called a pure fiber. Now, if you guys remember, just 3 minutes ago, I showed you how to craft things. So this is another thing you're going to craft. When you go to that lady and you're looking for things to make with all the ingredients, you're going to type in fiber. And when you do that, it's going to come up with the 4 fibers that you can craft. These pure ones are the best. They're very inexpensive to make. And then you can put in whatever secondary stat you want. You can see this one reads, fits in a fiber socket, versatility granted, is determined by the socketed item. So yeah, this one's versatility. If it's haste, it'll say haste. If it's crit, it'll say crit. Mastery, mastery, okay? Very easy. That's the cloak. That's pretty much the only new thing this season. Wonderful. We love it. Now let's go back to donor. Now that you guys know about the cloak, remember, if it ends up not being BIS, don't blame me. I plan on doing the cloak. I think it will be BIS, but I don't know. Okay? Thank you very much. Now, the next thing we're talking about is tier. So if you guys weren't lazy, or you listened to my video early, you did some heroic dungeons, or you did delves, and that will give you an opportunity to maybe, just maybe, get a piece of tier in your vault. Now, if you are lucky enough to get a piece of tier in your vault, when you go over to the vault, which is over there, if you guys, yeah, it's back there. I think you press Y or U or something. What do you press on? Some button you can press to see your vault. Shows you what a freaking noob I am. All right, just 1 second here. I think if I go to delves, I can click on that. There we go, perfect. So you can see I have these 4 opportunities on Tuesday to maybe get a piece of tier. Okay, great. If you get a piece of tier, wonderful. You're basically a little bit ahead of everyone else. If you don't get it, it's no big deal. I didn't do this on any other character. If I don't get it, am I gonna cry? No, I don't care. But if you do get it, you can go over here and you can actually buy this. These are the key items, okay? So like, let's say you decide to get a shoulder tier, you can buy this with Conquest. And even though the piece of gear is trash item level, once you get this, you can attach it to the shoulders and make it scale in PvP. Okay, so this is what you'll probably want to spend your Conquest on at the beginning of the week. If you do get that tier, then that's going to be a good investment for you, okay? More than likely. Don't get mad at me if, yeah, I'm just telling you, this is what you can do. This is the item I was talking about, that you can upgrade your gear. Okay, great. But for everyone else, how do you get tier? What they did last season is you started, let's just go over here really quick, okay? I think you started with 1. So you get 1. You get one of the charges here where you can just throw in a piece and you upgrade it, okay? So you'll have like either your bloody token piece of gear, if you want to spend bloody tokens on it, or your conquest piece of gear. You'll throw it in here and you'll transform it, and boom, you got 1 piece of tier. Now, I think if it's the same as last season, you will actually get a second piece of tier with your mark of mastery when you hit 1600. So if you hit 1600 in 2s and solo shuffle and 3s in anything, you will get a mark of mastery, and that will allow you to get your 2 set on the first week. Assuming you didn't do your delves, okay? So you didn't do your delves and you didn't get lucky, you can still get 2 set on the first week, okay? This is very important. When you hit 1600, if you are fortunate enough to get to that rating, you will be able to use your mark of mastery, you'll be able to get your tier. Okay? So that is pretty much everything you need to know. You want to figure out, what tier do I need? What secondary stats do I need? That's something I'm not going to be able to help you with. I could help you with it, but not in this video, okay? There's too many classes, there's too many people, but you guys can look up a guide, or you can ask your favorite streamer, or whatever, you know, what are the secondary stats I want? You can go to a website like a Drustvar, for example, and just check it out, okay? Or you can ask me while I'm live streaming. Whatever you want. You'll figure it out, I promise. But this is how you acquire all of the gear. The only other thing I wanted to mention is just buying enchants and gems. Now, gems are actually quite easy. So you'll be able to socket your gear. And one thing I want to quickly point out, when it comes to your sockets and your gems, especially if you're a DPS, you need a gem, okay? So like, if you decide to get elemental focusing lens, it will not work until you have at least 1 gem. You need 1 gem, and that basically tells your embellishment what kind of damage it does. So if you don't have one, it just won't work. Now to get gems, very easy. You just buy them. Oh, they're not here. Awkward. It will be here next season. I guess they removed it, but you basically, it's going to cost 5,000 honor and 3 vicious bloodstones. So essentially 12,500 honor if you want to do it full natty. If you want to just rush it because you have a lot of gold, you can do that too. You can just buy vicious bloodstones, okay? And that will save you 7,500 honor, and then each socket will cost 5,000 honor. Now, keep in mind, it's not a big deal. You don't have all your sockets right away. You can slowly work towards them throughout the season. But just remember, at this vendor right here, this is where you're going to get your sockets with either pure honor by buying 3 vicious bloodstones and the socket, or purchasing the vicious bloodstones on the auction house and getting your socket. Great. The last, but certainly not least, is going to be your enchants, which is also just really, really easy. Your enchants are going to be here. You're just going to go to item enhancements. This is a very nice filter. So if you guys are having trouble finding the right enchant, make sure you click this. So you go filter, current expansion only, search it, and this is where you can search. Okay, let's go down the list. Is there any head enchant? No. Is there a shoulder enchant? No. These are not, don't look at those. Is there a cloak enchant? Yes. Okay, great. And you can see, okay, what do I need? I want the 3-star ones. If you're broke, you can use the 2-star ones. Not a big deal. But I would invest in yourself and invest in your future by getting the 3-star ones. But if at the beginning of the season you're feeling a little bit broke, go ahead and get the silver. It's not going to be the end of the world. It'll still be good. We may silently judge you, but it's okay. So you get all your enchants. That is my complete gear guide. Just remember, you get a free weapon at 2,500 conquest. You're going to get the 9 free heraldries. Make sure you guys do your world PvP so you can get your bloody token gear. And remember, you can actually use that bloody token gear in the furnace or whatever to make tier gear if you want. So that is an option. It will be slightly lower item level, but it's still worth it. I did it last season, and then later on in the season, I just spent my conquest, my extra conquest, to finish it off. So yeah, and get your cloak. If you guys already have your cloak, remember, you can upgrade it by continuing the campaign. And yeah, just have fun, guys. I really hope that this was useful to you. I just recorded this. I'm in my underwear right now, just chilling. It's 10:30 at night, but I wanted to make sure this is up for you guys. So if you guys like the video, and have a great beginning of your season. I'll be live. I'll be live like I am every morning. So come and hang out. Much love, guys. Peace out.